And I started having situations again occurring. And what caused it? The use and abuse of alcohol. I found myself fighting downtown, getting beat up or beating up somebody, and just leading myself down that same path I've been leading myself down for all these years. Destruction. I reconnected with the chick from Cheesecake Factory, who's my wife now, at a house party. She had a 3-month-old son who his father walked out on, and I couldn't just turn my back on this woman and her son. I fell in love with him right away. We started hanging every day after work. I'm still abusing, drinking, situations still occurring, and now I realize she has the same problem. She's an alcoholic like myself. She takes me to my first Alcoholics Anonymous meeting outside of jail. And I don't know why. I didn't realize this until I got sober. But I've done programs in jail. Why didn't I get out and go do what they told me and go find a home group where I can work and connect with individuals that share the same problem that I have? I don't know why. It was a fog in my mind. It just didn't let me. And that's the power of this disease. It wants you dead or in jail. It doesn't.
You're kind of blind, right?
Yeah, you're blind. It doesn't want you to beat it. It wants you dead or in jail. It doesn't care. Or it's. I couldn't remember all those years. I'm like, wow. I just was just out here risking my life every day and every night, partying like that, getting into trouble, committing crime, in and out of jail, calling home from jail, calling my father, asking him to bomb me out.
Can I ask you a quick question? So during the time we were in jail, you were sober, right? And you spent it over a year in jail.
Yeah.
You were completely clean or no? You're still using drugs in jail?
No, I was clean in jail. I've never used a drug in jail.
Okay. But then when you were free again, you went back to the old habits, right? Because if you were clean for a year, I mean, I'm not judging. I'm just saying that
I know.
you were clear. You're clean. You could not go back to alcohol and drugs. The whole lifestyle that you're involved and the difficulties.
I missed it. So then when I got out, I chased it again. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And I never understood the power of clarity. I was in jail. I never got real good clarity. In jail, you're not just, you're on the edge. You know, you got to watch out for guys in there that are trying to keep back your time up. You know, anybody knows that you're getting ready to go home, they're going to try to cause a situation with you where you're going to get in more trouble while you're in there, possibly added charges now you don't come home. Not only that, it's jail. Who do you trust in jail? So my mind was never really in the right place while I was in jail. I was just sober. And then I was missing what was going on in the outs the whole time I was in jail. So I was just thinking about it, what I'm going to do, who I'm going to go see, how I'm going to handle things. You know, and I was very young, immature. The mentality was just that street mentality, because that's the life I lived for many years. You know, I robbed a lot of guys in the street. Like, that was my mentality. If I didn't have what I wanted, I would go get it. And I didn't care what it took. I remember walking in through the jail with one of the COs, and they could not bring me into the unit they were trying to put me in because all you seen was a bunch of dudes from the city. That's the white boy we're talking about. That's that white boy we're talking about. And it was really serious because those were the dudes I robbed during my time of very hardcore active addiction. And man, am I great to I don't have to ever feel like that ever again. That's the best feeling about all this. Anyways, my wife walked me into my first Alcoholics Anonymous meeting outside of jail at the 12-Step Sober House on State Road 84, downtown Fort Lauderdale. And I was like, wow. I started to understand some things. And I got sober for close to a year, and I relapsed. Now, during that time when I relapsed, I had, from when I got the DUI back in 2009, I couldn't get a driver's license for 5 years. This was the second time they took it for 5 years from me. So how do you get a car without a driver's license? On top of that, they wanted me to install a breathalyzer machine in my vehicle, but how do I install that in my vehicle if I can't buy a vehicle without a driver's license? I had to call my father and say, Pop, I got $5,000 cash. I want to buy this car off this lot, but I can't register it. Can you register it? I'll leave it in front of my house, and I have 2 weeks until my appointment to install the machine. Once they install the machine, we go right to the DMV from that building, and they give me my driver's license. That vehicle didn't sit for 2 weeks. I ended up blacking out drunk after like 11 and a half months sober, and I don't recall it, and I crashed that vehicle. I almost went to jail that night. You know, I got in some citations, and things worked itself out. Things worked itself out so good, I haven't had a drink or a drug since that day, and that was July 7, 2013. When I ran back to the home where I was staying at, because it happened right around the corner from my building, my home, the house I had my wife today and my son, I was covered in blood. I seen the terror, the fear on my son's face, and he was probably 14 months old, 15 months old. It shattered my heart, because here I am not only letting him down, he's a baby. I'm letting her down, I'm letting her parents down, and I'm letting my father down when he tried to help me. And I don't have that close of a relationship with him. For him to do that was meaning, it meant something to me. It meant a lot. And that day was just, that was rock bottom, man. I walked into another AA meeting with her, and they told me to shut the fuck up and do what's told, and I will never have to live like this again. And I took it serious. And when I took it serious enough, I started to develop enough clarity and understanding of who I am as a person and life on life's terms. I started to feel like loving of myself. I started to impact myself with self-discipline. And I feel you can't love yourself if you're not willing to discipline yourself, if you're not willing to implement certain things that are going to make you a better person, that are going to make you understand other people's feelings. Because that was one of the tough things for me. I was very hot-headed. I was quick to be like, let's go, whatever. I never understood why. And I got sober, and I was like, wow, man, this isn't how you're supposed to live. I'm not a thug, man. This is not life.